This is a video that was held in a church in Lagos. It was a program called the Singles program. During this video, this lady went into deep confession of things that are private. If it is single, now that is in the public, it's no longer a single program, it's no longer a secret. There are some single programs that you wouldn't want it to be on air because of the things that are discussed. Unfortunately, in this very video, we are having very serious matter that has to do with someone's privacy being exposed in the public. I'll play the video so that we watch, then I'll take it from there.
From Imo States, also local government. Daddy, my question goes like this. Early this year, my cousin introduced me to a man of God. He's a pastor. He has a church and he has members. So
in Lagos here?
Yes, Daddy. At don't call the name.
No, don't call.
Okay. So, Daddy, when we went out on a date, anytime he calls me on phone, he always wants us to talk all those nasty things.
Like
he will say, baby, let me see your breast now.
Pastor?
Yes, Daddy. But that's not the problem. The main problem started when that was May, April, Daddy. He said he likes to wash plates. So when I told him plates.
Explain what is washing plate.
He said, explain to me what is washing plate. This is a coded language that even himself he knows. And you call this single program. And at most you would have left it at that. But you wanted to expand more. Now, these are adults whom you expect, if they are single, this kind of coded language, they should know it. If you don't know it, let it remain like that to you. You are more pious than even the people that knows it or the lady that is discussing it. But in this situation, you want to let her explain what is washing plate. And the lady went down. He went into the mud. So let's continue listening.
So, Daddy, he said before he gets married, before I got first.
Speak English and explain to me what is efere. You have not come, you have never started talking.
Okay, Daddy.
He said he wants to put mouth.
So, this is it. The man of God, I believe he knows. Maybe he is trying to let people who are in the congregation to know what the lady is talking about. Then he has to now say it straightforward. Put him out in the private part. This is singles. If you are going to televise this is a public document. This lady, has messed, to some extent, has messed up her future. She can no longer be the same again. Nobody on earth that doesn't have secret. If she's telling this secret to her husband to be or to her husband, that would be a different thing. But when you have a society where people hold your negative vices as a means of weapon against you, and you're letting this out in the public, is not good for her. And I wouldn't condone that. Let's continue listening.
To your private part?
Yes, sir. I put mouth in my private part and
how many times did he put? Kwoku.
Daddy once.
So
you can see he said how many times did the man put mouth in the private part, which is licking plate in our local parlance. She was so reluctant to let it out. To tell you this is dipping deep into her own privacy. Will EBUKA be married this lady? I don't know. But letting this matter go down this way, there are coded languages, there are things that shouldn't be made in the public. Look at these young men on black who are your bodyguard. I mean, they've thrown away their face. They are in a state of despair because they wouldn't expect their own wife to have gone through this and to be a wife. So let's continue watching the video.
So what caused the problem?
What caused the problem is when I told him that, okay, what caused the problem is that when I said that this EBUKA, you are a pastor and this is not right in the sight of God. But you always tell me that he's a pastor, it's not a sin. Yeah, you taught us it's not good.
Are you still with him?
We give ourselves break.
He said this pastor have church in Lagos.
That if you member, be small.
Member plenty.
How do you, look at Ibu, I don't lie for you, get scared.
In this Lagos, a pastor, I don't see any pastor that have a big church in Lagos.
I'll be big, but people are going there.
His member, is he up to Zion Youth?
For where?
I would have wished to cut this part away. But this lady, in her own account, is that there's this pastor whom she was introduced to by someone she knew, and along the line it was an issue of dates. Now in the process of the dating, the pastor was involved in saying some derogatory things, requesting some level of commitment from her, which in this society it is common. But then bringing that in the public is what I'm against. And of course the pastor went overboard. He stretched it, and the man of God would have let some things to be secret. The lady would have told her story of her meeting with this man of God without exposing her own private life. I mean, my concern is on the lady. There are men of God who there are people who call themselves men of God that do more than this, that have done worse than this, but nobody knows. People still attend their churches. People still gather there. I mean, those that are brainwashed, of course, will be there, saying amen and be worshiping that individual. So this is not the first, this is not the second. But for her, as an innocent, let me just term her innocent in quotes, she shouldn't be the worst person coming out in the public like this to disgrace herself. Let's continue. I will end this video because it's quite long. I will end it when the man of God actually says something about forgiveness of sin. Let's continue with the video.
Okay, what is there is that you don't supposed to sleep with a pastor. If he's a genuine pastor, if he's an honest man of God, the Lord.
Did you hear this? I'll end this video here. I don't want it to be too long. That if the man of God is a genuine pastor, that God will forgive him more than her in the same offense. In other words, this is the lady who was involved in sexual immorality with this man of God. But now, the man of God here with the mic that you can see is telling her that God will easily forgive the man of God you have sexual immorality with than forgive you. I mean, that is the worst of fruit that I can see in terms of preaching, because there is no biblical standing on this. And I mean, with a common sense, you would have known that God is not partial. I'll play this video again so that we can hear it again.
Is that you don't supposed to sleep with a pastor. If he's a genuine pastor, if he's an honest man of God, the Lord can forgive him easily before God can forgive you. Are you hearing me? Huh?
Yes, Dad.
I understand the fact that he wants to marry you. Huh? And the pastor put him out in the woman's private parts. Tienu Mike no ya. Oludio MC na no.
That is not only that made me not to that made me to have break with him. One day okuro like that. So osim na one lady oyiboro, the lady go on into this hem wine. Osim na me here.
Honest man of God. The Lord can forgive him easily before God can forgive you. Are you hearing me? Huh?
Yes, Dad.
I understand the fact that he wants to marry you. Huh? And the pastor put him out in a woman's private parts.
That is not only that. That is not only that made me not to that made me to have break with him. One day okuro like